Go ahead, keep going.
No, that's about it for me. Just giving that and then growing up in the church. Of course, it changed throughout the years, and it's given so many kids musical outlets. You find the
Hmm.
singers, you find the drummers. I got a few buddies that's out here from Chicago, and they out here making money on Sundays and I think
Oh, they
Tuesday or
running
Wednesday,
it up.
and they
Hmm.
they playing instruments. They in
I, I'm like,
at
I'm
the
like,
church
yes
getting
and
bread.
no.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes and no. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, and I'm going in because I am somebody who identifies. So we're clear, identifies as a Christian, and I grew up in the church. I grew up going to church every Sunday. My church was also Bible based, right? And I saw that particular church change over a period of time. It started off as very much serving the community. Our OG pastor, I mean, was amazing. Huge youth program. We talking about hundreds of youth. He would pay for us to go to youth retreats. They gave scholarships every year. They offer SAT prep, right? They offered all types of resources for families, right? He even was at one point going to build like an apartment building for people who were in the congregation that were homeless so they could stay in there for free. Like Pastor James D. Carrington, shout out to him, was a real one, like through and through, right? And I'm not gonna say what transitioned, right? I'm not gonna say what transitioned to later, but what happened was, unfortunately, he got elderly, right? And what happens is they start to try to get somebody else, right? And when that person
Hmm.
starts to go through the process, we saw the congregation just take a huge dip. We're talking about this was every two services was probably like 3,000 people in a service. Like it was rocking like that, right? And we started the change go from where I feel like it was serving the community to becoming strictly a business. And the problem with church, I feel like right now, is church is a business. Now, some people are like, well, you should run a church like a business. I'm not saying you shouldn't have business skills, right? But the church should not be a business. The church should be serving the community. And a good example of that is, all right, maybe you have one Sunday where you have the pros come, you know what I'm saying, and play in the band. But why are you guys not having a program to where you're teaching kids for free, right, how to use those instruments? When I was growing
That's the
up,
youth
youth
church.
choir,
Yeah.
youth
Youth choir.
choir, the youth was out there playing in the thing, right? I
Hmm.
got my first introduction to music was because of Pastor James Carrington, right? The first time I rapped in a pulpit. Pastor James Carrington used to let us do whatever it is we wanted as long as it was positive, right? And it was for God. All right, he provided a platform. So imagine if the first time I would have rapped would have been in a totally different space, right? Where would my concept in my mind? Maybe I would have been one of them bended over, busted open girls. We don't know.